Marcus sat alone at the diner table, staring at the warm plate of food he'd worked all week to afford. His stomach was tight with hunger, the kind that makes your hands shake a little, but something stronger pulled his attention away. Just a few feet from him sat an elderly couple, their hands gently folded together, their table painfully empty. There was a quiet heaviness in their eyes, the kind you recognize even without words. Marcus looked back at his own meal, steam rising softly, a reward he had dreamed about for days. And then, without hesitation, he slid the plate toward them. No speech, no moment of glory, just a simple act from a heart that understood hunger far too well, yet still chose kindness over comfort. The old man whispered, "Thank you," his voice trembling, and in that moment, Marcus gave away more than food, he gave hope. Marcus hadn't grown up with the kind of childhood most kids his age had. While others worried about school projects or weekend plans, he was busy helping his mother stretch every dollar just to keep the lights on. After his father passed away when he was only 9, the house felt heavier, quieter, and somehow smaller. Responsibility settled on his young shoulders long before he even understood the meaning of the word. His mother worked late shifts, coming home exhausted, sometimes skipping her own meals so he wouldn't have to. Marcus noticed everything, the unopened bills, the worn-out shoes, the way his mother forced a smile even when she was tired down to her bones. That single plate of food he gave away wasn't just dinner, it was a week's worth of effort, sacrifice, and small hopes. And yet, he didn't hesitate, because kindness had been his family's legacy long before hardship arrived. What Marcus didn't realize in that moment at the diner was how far a single act of kindness can travel. To him, it was simple, someone needed the meal more than he did. But to the elderly couple, it was a lifeline at a time when dignity felt too fragile to hold on to. They walked away that night not just fed, but seen, and that feeling alone can reshape a person's spirit. And as Marcus stepped out into the cold evening, hungry but strangely at peace, the kindness he left behind didn't stay at that table. It moved with the couple, it echoed in their gratitude, and it carried into the conversations that would follow. A boy giving away his only meal might have seemed small to the world, but small things have a way of growing when they come from a sincere heart. One selfless moment became the spark that set everything else in motion. The next morning, just as the faint light of dawn crept through the curtains, Marcus heard an unexpected knock at the door. He wasn't used to visitors, especially not this early, so he opened it cautiously. Standing there was a tall man in a sharp coat, someone Marcus had only ever seen on television or in newspaper headlines. Beside him stood the same elderly couple from the diner, their eyes warm with recognition. The man introduced himself as William Carter, a well-known millionaire whose name carried weight far beyond their small town. But in that moment, he wasn't a businessman or a famous figure, he was someone deeply moved by a story of quiet generosity. He told Marcus that the couple had shared everything, how the boy had given away the only meal he had without expecting anything in return. Carter looked at Marcus with a sincerity that cut through the morning chill, acknowledging a rare kind of heart that can't be taught or bought. It was kindness noticed by the world at last. Carter didn't waste time with grand speeches. Instead, he reached into his coat and handed Marcus an envelope thicker and heavier than anything the boy had ever held. Marcus opened it slowly, his fingers trembling as he scanned the papers inside. A full scholarship, every year of college paid for. And not just that, but a trust fund meant to help his mother, to lift the weight that had pressed on their family for years. Behind him, his mother gasped, her hand flying to her mouth as tears filled her eyes. She had spent so long worrying about rent, about groceries, about giving her son a future she feared she couldn't afford. Now, with a few signatures on a page, everything had changed. Marcus stood frozen, overwhelmed by a mix of disbelief and gratitude so deep he couldn't form a single word. A simple act of kindness had opened a door he never knew existed. That night, as Marcus lay in bed, he finally had a moment to breathe. The house felt different, lighter, warmer, as if hope itself had settled quietly into the corners. He thought about everything that had happened, from the hunger twisting in his stomach the previous evening to the life-changing gift handed to him that morning. But what stayed with him most wasn't the scholarship or the trust fund, it was the simple truth behind it all. His father's words echoed in his mind, words he hadn't understood fully until now: real strength isn't measured by what you hold onto, but by what you're willing to give away. Marcus realized that kindness doesn't need an audience, and it doesn't always return in the same shape you offered it. Sometimes it comes back bigger, louder, and more life-changing than you ever imagined. And in that quiet moment, he understood, generosity always finds its way home.